The Backfire G2T costs $600, and I think it's a fantastic budget board, so let's get right into the unboxing. Opening up the box, we have the board itself. We'll put that off to the side and talk about it in a little bit. In the box, you also get some 96mm replacement wheels, which is super awesome. I actually ended up using these for the board as it makes the ride a bit smoother. In the box, you also get a bunch of stickers, which is awesome. You can put those on anything. Also, you get the remote in the box. We'll talk about all its features a little bit later as well. In the box, you also get this really powerful flashlight that you can mount to the front trucks, so riding at night can be a little more safe. And here's the mount for that flashlight. Here's the USB-C cable to charge the remote, and here's the skate tool, which of course comes in the box. And here's a bunch of extra screws in case you lose any screws, which I think is super nice of them to include in the box. And taking a look at the charger, it's a 2.5 amp hour charger, so it should be charging the board really fast. It's a super big power brick. It also comes with the correct Allen key if you ever want to swap out your wheels or anything like that. It's good that that's in the box because that's not the same size as the one included on the skate tool. They also include some sort of power adapter if you want to swap batteries in the future or anything like that. And that's it for the unboxing. At this point you just have the board itself, which looks amazing. I absolutely love this grip tape. And even the bottom of the deck looks super premium as well. First ride on the Backfire G2T. It is such a stable, nice board. I really do like the deck. I loved the deck back when I reviewed the Backfire G2 so long ago. And it is a very similar deck to that, which is awesome. I mean, I've never had any complaints with the deck. Also, the enclosures are very similar, although these feel much more high quality. And on top of that, just the whole overall feel of the board is so much better than their old boards, thanks to the Hobbywing ESC on board. Throughout this video, we're going to be doing a nice long range test and seeing how far this board can go, keeping in mind that I'm currently using the 96mm hub motor wheels. So that will probably decrease the range a little bit, but also could potentially give us a higher top speed. Let's take a look at the Backfire G2T remote. This is one of my favorite remote designs because it keeps this little hole that you used to have in the old winning remotes back in the day. You know, those remotes were very, very tiny, but this was really nice. You'd always know you'd be able to hold on to your remote if you fell or anything like that. Obviously a wheel at the top, which is a super high quality wheel. It feels rubberized. The whole thing feels rubberized to some degree, so it has a really nice grip. And I do like how big the remote is in the hand. It gives you a lot to hold on to. So we have the power button right out here up top, as well as the sports and economic modes. You can switch either of those. I'm sure the economic mode would give you some more range and things like that. And then this warning sign right here is the turbo mode, and this will last for around 30 seconds. Turbo mode is super awesome. Down here you have the switch to go for forward and reverse. I really do like that it's a dedicated switch, it's a dedicated button, so you can always look at the board and be like, okay, I know I'm going to be going forward because the switch is in the upright position. This board also has a screen. It's a little bit hard to see during the daytime, but you can see the remote battery life, as well as the board battery life, which is super duper awesome to have that while you're on the ride. Also has the speed you're going in kilometers per hour. It also has the mode there and the direction that the board's going. And it also has a trip meter so you can see how far you've went in your single trip, as well as the total mileage on the board. We're here today on Cliff Street, which is the steepest street by far in Burlington. It has a ridiculous gradient. I don't even know what it is, but it is absolutely ridiculous. And we're going to be challenging the G2T today because we're going to be running it on the 96mm wheels. Of course, we'll be on turbo mode on the way up. That's exactly what turbo mode is for really getting up hills like this, or for just going extremely fast if you want to. So let's see how it does. The board was going up at roughly 10 miles an hour, which I'd say is pretty decent considering the size of the wheels currently. So overall, I think it nailed it. This board will go up any hill just fine. And going down the hill, the board almost came to a complete stop if I really slammed on the brakes, which is super awesome that the brakes are this strong because, like I said, this is a very steep hill, and it's really hard to find a board that will stop down a hill like this. So thumbs up for the braking power as well. I'd say it's time to do the speed test, and this board is very interesting in the fact that when you go on turbo mode, there's actually no limit on the top speed. It just keeps driving the motors as fast as they can possibly go. So considering I don't weigh too much, we might get a pretty decent top speed here. So we have finished the top speed test, and man, let me tell you, this board is super duper fast. Just with the turbo mode alone, I've been getting up to roughly 26 to 27 miles an hour, and I'll tell you what, it doesn't feel like it's that fast at all, which is the awesome part. And the awesome thing is this board is so stable at those speeds due to the caliber trucks in the front and the back, and carving is very easy to do, yet there's no speed wobbles at a speed that fast. That's one of the fastest boards out there on the market when you're on turbo mode, of course. Now, when you're not on turbo mode, the top speed is a little bit more conservative, but still, it's really awesome to be able to wreck anybody in a drag race. Speaking of drag race, let's go ahead and check out a drag race between the Backfire G2T and the WowGo 3.
You absolutely smoked me.
Yeah, this thing is actually insane. The turbo mode, it's kind of like a super ability. It lasts for 30 seconds and you fly extremely fast. And I was able to take him out with that. But I would definitely say that when we were coming back, he ended up smoking me because his acceleration beat me out because I didn't have a super. But it's just funny to say like that, but it's true, it is.
No,
it's like a superpower, dude. You go so fast.
So as you can see, the Backfire G2T just smoked the WowGo 3, and that is really to be expected because the turbo mode is completely different. These manufacturers have different turbo modes. The one on the WowGo boards is more just like, okay, I'm gonna get up to the top speed of 22 very quickly, whereas the Backfire one is like, we're just gonna make these motors go absolutely crazy and see what the result is. So that gives you not only super duper fast acceleration, but also gives you a higher top speed. At the sacrifice of having a little bit of a cooldown, which isn't too bad. The cooldown is just so the motors don't overheat, which is totally fair, totally a valid reason to have a cooldown on a board like this. Now that drag race used the 83mm wheels, which I do think give a little more zip to the board, but personally I would sacrifice the zip any day for this super duper nice ride quality. Being able to go over sticks, I don't even feel the sticks, which is super duper awesome to not only have that stiff deck for control, but also have these larger wheels to go over rocks and pebbles and things like that. The Backfire G2T ended up going 10.5 miles on a charge, and that's pretty darn impressive considering I was using the 96mm wheels, which I would imagine has to reduce the range by quite a lot considering the motors have to drive them so much harder. On top of that, I was running near top speed the entire time and using turbo mode frequently after the cooldown went out, so I was really pushing this board to its absolute limits. I bet you'd get a little more range if you used the wheels that came pre-installed on the Backfire G2T, but also potentially a little bit less top speed, but you would get up there faster, as you saw in the drag race earlier on in the video. So conclusion time for the Backfire G2T. I think it's an absolutely amazing board for $600. You get a lot of value here. You know, the 6 amp hour battery, which is great, gives you very decent range on a charge. As well as these really nice hub motors that you swap the urethane to be bigger or smaller, and both of these hubs come in the box, which is also, once again, very good value. Now, it's totally up to the individual person if they prefer the turbo mode of the Backfire G2T or of the WowGo 3. Personally, I have ups and downs with both. You know, the Backfire G2T has absolutely insane turbo, which can go super duper fast, whereas on the WowGo 3, you get some fast acceleration, but you're still limited to that 22 mile an hour top speed. But once again, Backfire shows that they're one of the best electric skateboard manufacturers, not only considering their decks and boards are very high quality, but they also do have some pretty decent support in the US, which is really good. They even have stock in the US, so if you buy in the US, you do get a little bit better experience. It's a little bit less of a Chinese board than some of the other brands out there. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching my review of the Backfire G2T. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. It really helps out the video. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!